Single dad found a CEO collapsing in the elevator. What she hid in her bag could silence a nation. The elevator doors groaned shut behind him, and in the flickering light of the old building's shaft, he saw her. A woman in a navy blue suit, heels twisted awkwardly beneath her, crumpled against the mirrored wall. Her breathing was ragged, her hands trembling as if they'd just let go of something far heavier than the designer handbag clutched in her lap. He paused, heart thudding, and then rushed to her side, never expecting that the unconscious woman in his arms was the most powerful CEO in the state. And what was inside her bag? A folder so dangerous, so damning, that entire governments would pay to erase it. But right now, she was just a stranger in need, and he was just a single father trying to make it through another long day. Before we dive deeper into this emotional journey, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and the power of unexpected connections, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Hidden USA Tales. Your support helps stories like these continue to be told. 6 months before that unforgettable night, Liam Reyes was a man barely hanging on. He had once worn a firefighter's uniform, a badge of courage on his chest, and pride in his stride. But after the tragic death of his wife, Emma, in a car accident 3 years ago, the flames he once fought outside had moved inside, burning through his days with grief, exhaustion, and a loneliness that clawed at him like winter wind. He had resigned from the force to raise his daughter, Lily, full-time. Just 5 years old, Lily was his light and his burden, both innocent and brutally honest in the way only young children can be. Their life was modest, a 2-room apartment in an aging building on the edge of the city, the kind where elevator buttons were sticky and neighbors barely said hello. Liam worked as a night janitor at a law firm downtown, often bringing Lily along and letting her sleep on a blanket beside his mop bucket. The world moved fast around them, but Liam was stuck in survival mode. No dreams, no plans, just keep Lily fed, keep her safe. Keep breathing. On that particular rainy Thursday evening, Liam had just finished a shift and picked Lily up from daycare. She had drawn a picture of their little family, her dad, and a tiny cloud above their heads raining down hearts. "So the sky doesn't forget to love us," she'd said. Liam smiled, placing it carefully in his pocket. He was so exhausted, his legs felt like stone as they entered the building and pressed the elevator button. That's when he saw her, the woman who would change everything. At first, he thought she was just sick. He crouched beside her, checking her pulse, whispering reassurances. Her skin was pale, clammy, but her heartbeat was strong. As he adjusted her bag to lay her down, it fell open. Papers spilled out, and with them, a red flash drive marked confidential. On top of the scattered documents, a photo caught his eye. The same woman, smiling, standing with 2 senators and a military general. This wasn't just a businesswoman. She was someone. The ambulance came quickly after Liam called. Paramedics whisked her away. He didn't think he'd ever hear about it again. But 3 days later, 2 men in black suits showed up at his door. They claimed to be from the company she worked for, Redwood Dynamics, a powerful private defense contractor with ties deep into national security. They asked about the folder, about the USB, about what he had seen. Liam lied, said he only saw a woman faint and didn't touch a thing. They stared at him hard before nodding and leaving. Liam locked the door behind them and held Lily tighter than ever before. But he had touched it. And he had seen. In the days that followed, Liam couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. The elevator creaked at odd hours. Strange cars idled across the street too long. And then, one night, he came home to find his apartment ransacked. Lily's drawings were torn. Her stuffed bear was missing. But the folder, which he had hidden under a loose floorboard, was still there. Inside, the documents painted a chilling picture. Illegal surveillance, secret experiments, and names of politicians and defense contractors tied to war crimes. The red flash drive was worse. It contained footage of a private meeting where a known senator approved a covert operation that had led to dozens of civilian deaths. Liam sat in the dark, staring at it all, knowing he held something that could shatter the nation. But why him? The next evening, there was a knock. Not the men in suits this time. It was her. Her name was Meredith Cole. Once dubbed America's Iron Lady, she had led Redwood Dynamics into the Fortune 100 by the time she was 40. But now, standing at his door, Meredith looked fragile, hollow. She asked if she could talk. He let her in. She told him the truth. She discovered the atrocities her company had been hiding too late. When she tried to blow the whistle, they came after her. Drugged her. Tried to make her look unstable. She barely escaped with the folder. The elevator collapse wasn't a coincidence, it was an attempt to silence her. But Liam, he had become part of her story. He had saved her life, and now, unknowingly, he held the last chance to bring the truth to light. They were both broken in their own ways. But something about her pain mirrored his own, the quiet endurance, the weight of things left unsaid. Meredith stayed, sleeping on the couch, hiding from the eyes that searched for her. Lily took to her immediately, drawing her pictures, calling her Miss M. As the days passed, they became an odd trio. Liam's old instincts returned. Protection, courage, clarity. Meredith, once polished and distant, softened. She helped Lily with reading, helped Liam rebuild some of his lost confidence. And through it all, they prepared. They scanned the documents, encrypted the files, and contacted a trusted journalist Liam had once saved from a fire years ago. But nothing stays hidden forever. The night before the files were to be released, the power went out. A black SUV skidded to a stop outside. Liam knew what was happening. He grabbed Lily, passed her to Meredith, and told them to run to the back fire exit. He'd stall whoever it was. Meredith hesitated. She didn't want to leave him. But his eyes said it all. Gunshots rang in the hallway. Liam dodged into the shadows, using the building's maintenance paths to lead the attackers on a wild goose chase. Eventually, police sirens screamed nearby, forcing the SUV to retreat. Liam was bleeding. A shot had grazed his side. But he lived. The files went public the next morning. The nation exploded in shock. Arrests were made. Trials were promised. Careers destroyed. Lives changed. And Liam became a hero again. Not for rushing into fire, but for risking his quiet life to do the right thing. Meredith testified in court and then vanished, placed under protection. She left a note behind for Liam and Lily. You saved more than just my life. You gave me a second chance at being human. 6 months later, Liam received a letter. No return address, just a hand-drawn picture inside. 3 stick figures under a sky raining hearts. If this story touched your heart, if you believe in the strength of ordinary people doing extraordinary things, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Hidden USA Tales. Your support brings these powerful, unseen stories to light. Speech balloon special request to comment below. Would you have opened the bag, or walked away? Certainly. Let's continue with the second half of the story, deepening the emotion, building suspense, and bringing it all to a powerfully cinematic, heart-wrenching, and inspiring close, perfect for the remaining half of your 6,000-word YouTube video script. Liam's life had always been a quiet battle. A battle for Lily's happiness, for peace in his soul, for meaning in a world that had taken too much too soon. But after the Redwood revelations, something inside him had changed. He no longer walked with his head down. Strangers recognized him now, not for glory, but for his courage. He hated the spotlight, but he didn't hide from it. Not anymore. Yet even with the nation watching, the aftermath was quieter than the storm that caused it. The media moved on. Headlines shifted. Politicians issued statements and built committees that would soon dissolve. And Meredith Cole, she was gone. The government never confirmed her whereabouts, only that she was cooperating with ongoing investigations. But Liam knew what that really meant. She was a ghost now. Protected, forgotten, alone. Every evening, after Lily fell asleep with her stuffed bear, the one they'd miraculously found in a donation bin weeks after the break-in, Liam would sit by the window and stare into the city skyline, wondering if Meredith was doing the same. He missed her, more than he could say. Not in the romantic way people expected, but in the soul-deep way you miss someone who once carried part of your burden. They had been two survivors, fighting separate wars, and for a brief moment, their pain had aligned like stars in a dark sky. And then, one afternoon, months later, Lily came running up the sidewalk after school, waving a postcard like a golden ticket. It was from a town in the Midwest. No name, no return address, just a picture of a sunflower field, and scrawled on the back, in shaky handwriting, "Tell her the sky never forgot." Liam closed his eyes and smiled, tears blurring the world. She remembered. She hadn't let go. He never told anyone about the second flash drive. Meredith had slipped it into Lily's backpack before disappearing. Unlike the first one, this wasn't filled with evidence or reports. It was something more personal. A video journal, hours of footage showing Meredith breaking down the events, not for the press or politicians, but for Lily. She spoke directly to the child, explaining hard truths with soft words. About bravery, about choices, about how even adults get lost sometimes, and how heroes aren't the ones who wear capes, they're the ones who do the right thing when no one is watching. Liam watched it alone first, sobbing silently in the kitchen as Meredith's voice filled the room again. Then he watched it with Lily weeks later. She didn't cry. She just smiled and said, "I hope she comes back someday." But life didn't pause for hope. Liam eventually returned to work, not as a janitor, but as a safety consultant for the city. He used his experience to train others, helping families prepare for emergencies, helping single parents like him find strength. Lily flourished. She started writing stories in school, always about brave girls who saved lost adults. Always about skies that rained hearts. Every year, on the same day the folder had changed their lives, they would take a drive to the edge of town. There was a hill where sunflowers bloomed wild, and though Meredith had never said where she'd gone, Liam knew. She had left breadcrumbs, yellow, hopeful, stubborn flowers that refused to be tamed. He would sit on the hood of his car, Lily beside him, and whisper to the wind, "We're still here. We still remember." Because, sometimes, the loudest battles are fought in silence. Sometimes, the people who save the world don't get medals or parades. They get letters with no name, pictures drawn in crayon, and memories that ache in the most beautiful way. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. Sunflower, if this story made you feel something, if it stirred your heart, gave you hope, or reminded you of someone you miss, please, like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Hidden USA Tales. Every click keeps these untold human stories alive. Speech balloon before you go. Tell us in the comments, what would you have done in Liam's place? Would you have risked everything to protect a stranger, or stayed silent to protect your peace?